my name is Laetitia Laurent, and I'm the principal at Laure Nell Interiors. We have studios in Boca Raton, Florida, and in Paris, France. I got into interior design very organically. I grew up in Paris and I was always surrounded by art and architecture. My parents actually owned an art and antiques gallery, so it was just something that was always around me. And I got my master's degree at the Sorbonne. I studied art and history, and after that I moved to the US and I worked for a design firm, more like the commercial kind of branding side of things, for a couple of years. And I got married, I had my first baby, took some time off, and started helping my girlfriends decorate their homes. And it was very organic. I was still traveling back and forth between Paris and South Florida, and I would bring back all these artifacts, all these objects from Paris, and I started putting them in my girlfriend's homes. And it kind of led to, okay, well, can you help me design the whole space? Can you help me really, just do like a full scope type of project? So I did, I hired, and now we have a team of 10. Our typical client comes to us because they want to work with a designer who understands their taste and who's also not afraid of layering like their own personality into the home. And I think that's a very European character, where in France you mix a lot of different elements, whether it's contemporary and more traditional. You can hang, like, let's say, a traditional piece of art in an otherwise contemporary loft, or vice versa. So our typical client comes to us because they want that kind of travel, curated, interesting look. I will say that we're also known for our turnkey approach to things. So we're very process oriented, we're very kind of like holding their hands through the whole process from start to finish. So that's really our ideal client, someone who wants the turnkey service. I've intentionally kept the firm at a boutique size, so it's 10 of us. And I'm very particular about the projects that we take on because I want to be involved in every single one. I act as the creative director on every single project. I design everything, source everything. I have obviously this amazing team that's helping me execute it. But I think the biggest challenge has been picking the right team members and the right projects. So that kind of just like that marriage of the two, and finding the balance between always being busy, but also being very intentional with what we do, and just kind of finding that balance, that cadence. Kip Stay was a lot. It was amazing. It's something that I've always wanted to do. So I felt like it was really just like, kind of like this professional accomplishment. I'm really happy that we did it, like another feather in our cap. I think one of the most interesting things, well, definitely the timeline was quite tight. So that was, I think we pulled this bathroom together in 5 weeks or so. So that was kind of wild. One of the really positive things that came out of it was the design community coming together around this show house. I mean, all of the makers that we worked with, all of our suppliers were just game to basically bring our vision to life. So we did so many custom elements, and I was really not wanting to compromise my design vision, and all the suppliers were amazing at bringing that to life. So that was really, really cool. When you do a show house, you have to go for it. You don't have your typical client parameters and all those things. So I wanted to have fun with it. And I thought about what happens in a bathroom and the whole art and ritual of getting ready. So it's a very immersive, very intimate moment. And I wanted to do something that felt a little chic, like a Parisian bathroom boudoir kind of environment. So there's a lot of sort of like French fashion elements, and then that crosses over with travel, because when I think of escapism and when I think of kind of like disappearing in your own head like you would when you're reading a good book, travel is something that comes to mind. So I wrapped the tub in this leather to make it look like an old Louis Vuitton trunk or a Goyard Mal. We had this mural, this back mural that was amazing. I had spent some time in Africa, so all that scenography was top of mind. So we have this panther coming through that I was kind of like, maybe that's like my alter ego. There's like herons taking flight, collaborated with this amazing company out of Houston. And then we did this like arch on the shower to make it look almost like this temple, like this very like ritualistic moment. The vanity is also curved, so it's very like feminine, but also moody and disappearing, all around that performative art of getting ready. One of the challenges is definitely the disruptive, tariff and economy and all those things that are happening right now. I think it's challenging because as a firm, we're always trying to source things that are a little bit under the radar. I go to Paris a lot. I go to all the European design shows. So I think we're going to see a little bit of an impact there. And that will be kind of interesting to watch how people welcome or are reticent to welcoming foreign products. So that's going to be an interesting challenge. But I think because people have moved around a lot more, they're also willing to, wait for the right piece, maybe pay a little bit more for it. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how all of that comes about. Luckily, if anything, our clients have been placing orders quicker because they're afraid of price increase. So that's kind of been good because people get nervous of, pricing changes and all of that, and they're willing to actually maybe pay an extra month of storage fee if that ensures locking in the price. So orders have been getting placed faster on our end, which, is a blessing. So I'm always kind of feel funny about the word trend because I try not to, really do trendy spaces. I try to do things that are very timeless, but still timely. So to me, it's always that cross between timeliness and spaces that feel, classic and like really withstand the test of time. I will say that the last few shows I've gone to, especially in Europe, I've seen a lot of kind of these big like hand-painted scenography on wallpaper, and I think it's a little bit of like the mural I did too at Kips Bay, and our ceiling was this beautiful Portoleo wallpaper that is called La Danse after the Matisse painter, and our clients are welcoming that kind of like artisanal touch, which makes me so happy that we're moving away from the very like sterile kind of like all beige environments. We're always encouraging our clients. We're always saying like there are really no rules. I mean, the only rule that I kind of follow is scale. I just feel like that's a very important, like it's a very intuitive thing. Like when you walk into a space, you can't quite put your finger on it, but when everything is balanced, when the table is within reach so you can put your drink down, when the chair is at the right height. I mean, it's a very like physical, like human reaction to the space. So I'm pretty uncompromising on scale, but everything else I tell them, there are no rules. Like, let's just do things that as long as it feels cohesive and they're working together, but you want to tell a story. So you want to create an environment that feels layered and interesting. And I find that, our clients that we have, and maybe it's just right now, but they're a little bit freer in their approach. Like they're a little bit more uninhibited and willing to be creative. I speak 5 languages, so I don't know if that's like surprising, but it's also pretty common when you grow up in Europe, and that's sort of like one of my superpowers. Randomly, I'm a good, I mean, everybody knows I'm a good equestrian. Like I still ride. I grew up doing hunter jumper and dressage, and I still do it with my daughter and love it.